This is Florida Natural Farming at Frog Valley Tropical Fruit Farm, and I'm gonna talk about Florida real estate, Vero Beach Tropical Farm, organic real estate to grow tropical fruit trees on, and a little bit about neighbors spraying glysophate next to in an organic farm. There's no rules protecting me from the neighbors spraying glysophate, and it causes real anxiety in me, and to the point of like, I feel like I'm gonna have a heart attack when I see it. It's like, and it smells, and it's just hideous, but that's what they do. So when that happens, I want to sell this place. And even though I'm like in the process of building this botanical garden in Vero Beach that's all self-perpetuating and good for the environment, I get like people that want me to conform to using chemicals and mowing. And the Indian River Lagoon is like was the most biodiverse spot in North America, and we have a property on the lagoon for 10 years, and I've watched the lagoon completely go from being fairly beautiful to kind of scary in just a really short time, 10 years. And so I like to talk about it because Floridians, they just want you to see the pretty picture, the mowed lawns, and you can't see the chemicals that they're all applying. They're insecticides and they're herbicides, and we do everything all organic, and that's the only way we're biodynamic certified, organic certified, rare tropical fruit farm that centers around selling seeds now, since we're fruiting most of these things. And they all fruit and grow really well in a healthy organic system like this. And we don't have to water anything. Well, I have watered this licula palm and this licula palm. That's it for the most part. So I collect these rare aeroids to plant out in the orchard floor. I know a lot of you like them, so I potted a couple of my anthuriums, the regali, that had this new leaf that's just stunning, and this new leaf. So 2 different anthuriums. So I put them in this, I don't know, what, 12-inch pot? Is that what those are? I think. I don't know. They're bigger. They're like twice the size. I could see they're gonna have to go in big pots. I've started planting these out in the orchard floor. I've had to dig some up and move them back in because it's been a drought. We finally had more rain last night. It was like the scariest, driest period ever. I mean, stuff really looks scary when you're not watering it, and you haven't had rain in a long time. And the plants are definitely under stress, but as soon as they get rain, you can't even tell that there was a drought. And in Florida, it seems like we get just enough rain where the plants thrive if you have healthy biology. So I guess the neighbor's property is gonna close next week. They sold it for Bought it for $3.25 and then sold it for $1.4. Clear cut a huge forest on it and put in a like a dragon fruit in pots, giant pots, and some trees in the ground. Not the diversity we have. It's NonStop Maintenance, and I know he uses glysophate. I've seen him. He stopped using it on his mangoes because somebody finally told him they won't fruit if you use that. I mean, that's my whole problem with these chemicals, besides their health effects. But anyway, compared to everywhere else in Florida, this is Eden from the chemicals. And that's why all the birds and everything live here. They don't live on anybody. I don't see them on anybody else's property for some reason. So yeah, it was so dry. So none of this stuff, our whole thing is we don't walk on the system. And so there's just path from the doorway to the front to the back that I mow. And that's it, right there. And then the edges along the driveway. And then a path to the barn. And boy, it's dusty when it doesn't rain here a lot. And the grass starts dying and the sand starts turning white. But it's been a process figuring it all out and planting trees, thousands of trees, mostly from seed. Hundreds of achacha trees, hundreds of citrus, pomelos, key lime, lemon, blood orange, sweet orange, mandarin orange, and finger limes, and citron. All from seed, without water in them. This big, huge ice cream bean tree. So, and along with that is, since we're biodynamic and organic and real organic certified, I've kept records of everything, daily notes. So there's a provenance and journal that's been certified by certifiers as to our farm plan here. It's completely regenerative, totally clean, basically a mostly closed loop system. I use the bedding from the barn. I lock my little miniature cows in the barn at night to protect them and to be able to collect their manure. I mean, it's really a stunning spot, Florida. And this spot in particular, it has a lot of really ancient live oak trees on it, and some other aged ones, and some really big palms. Ancient palms. But because this property was a lawn for 55 years and they sprayed glysophate around the chain link perimeter fence on the front 5 acres, that's what the local people want around me. Starting to look so pretty that some of them are changing their mind. Not all of them, but seems like the ones around here. I mean, I've been told by people on both sides of me. We have 3 people on that side of us, and we have 3 houses on that side of us. So even the orchids look happier. But I mean, none of this stuff's giving fertilizers and chemicals. I did lots of biological sprays for a year, every day for 4 or 5 days a week. And of course, I'm still doing the biodynamic sprays once a year. That's all I will do. I don't think they're necessary, but I'm biodynamic certified, so I follow their dogma. That's all it is. People get ingrained to doing one thing and they stick with it, even though it doesn't work. And that's where we are here in Florida. Anybody that veers off is branded as a quack, and they don't really understand it. People lie so much, so they don't believe that nothing is watered. It's just really, it's a downhill spiral to fix the problem. I don't think it can be fixed. Not after 70 years of applying 250 pounds of nitrogen in Indian River County per acre for, what, 50 years probably at least. And then all the other stuff. We applied 26 pounds of nitrogen per acre, and focus on soil health. So yeah, when one of my neighbors sprays the glysophate on the property line, on our property line, on our plants, on our property, it makes me nervous and makes me want a bigger buffer. 20 feet away is all you have to do. I didn't have any trees planted that close to them where I could still sell the fruit as organic, but it's a pasture for my donkeys, and now I can't put them in there for a while. It's like, you could, but I won't. I mean, they spray it around their little tiny horse pasture that they mow all the time. That's just like something that's sinking. That's what happens when you mow over and over again in Florida and you don't have the roots building the soil. The soil starts sinking and holds water. The roots of the life, all these roots. It's gonna look good here now that we're getting rain. It's supposed to rain for the next 10 days. So all this dead grass from the drought and the freeze is just gonna be fuel for the growth. My hundreds of heliconias I divided, and the bananas and everything will just pop now. I mean, people are so jaded in Florida that, or I don't know, I just don't understand why there's so little interest in growing cacao naturally in Florida. It just, I don't know. I don't understand what's wrong with people. I just think about different things, I guess. So I had a real estate agent over here, and of course they want to list it for 2.5, but they let it be known that, oh, well, it's only 3 more acres than the neighbor's property, and he got 1.4. So, I'm like, yeah, but they don't have live oak trees, ancient live oak trees, several of them. And they haven't been keeping records of what they do on their farm, and they're not organic, and they clear cut 2 acres to put in their dragon fruit farm, and they have all these standing water issues because they drive all over it. So you can't even compare. They can't see that. They just look at the acres and the house, and they kind of don't even see the plants. The plants are like secondary to these real estate agents. Not all of them, but they wanted to list it, and they were intelligent enough to see after I explained a little bit to them, but I don't know. When I don't see people looking at the ancient trees here and going, oh my God, look at that beautiful tree, I kind of don't think they get it. I mean, that's kind of what it comes down to. So I'm not there to list the property, and we don't really want to sell. I mean, we love it here. I mean, just love it here. But if somebody came at us with the right cash, we probably would. Look at that rat. That's a native rat, not your Norwegian wood rat. They live in this tall grass, and they eat the little seeds and stuff. I've never seen them go after the fruit. Other things go after the fruit, and that thing looked happy. Hundreds of trees I could see popping up, stuff I'm not sure what it was, and stuff like giant mulches that I hadn't seen. I finally seen, because the orchard floor just, you know, was like, it's at its lowest point right now. People get tied up in mulch, but in Florida, it's really about the living root. Because you want the life and you want to build soil, and you can't get it without the living root. So all this stuff that, no matter what people tell you, is what you need to build soil. I know the right person is out there to take this on, but I mean, I've been drinking the leaf teas from here, making the leaf teas, you know, out of the gingers and the citron leaf and the cashew leaf and the pine needle leaves and the Garcinia leaves. And I know that they affect how I think and feel. And so does my partner. The mulberry leaves. Yeah, everything looks like so happy that it got rain. I mean, these star fruits were like, they look like they're on death's door. You know what's weird is the achachas. None of the Garcinias look like they're having any trouble at all. Sorry, deer fly. Oh, look at that. That's a cha-cha. This is a cha-cha. The Monstera deliciosa, no problem at all. Some trees just show drought stress. Citrus in particular, if it's in the sun, shows major drought stress. It can survive it, but it has drought stress. These are these heliconias I planted that this winter, past winter, that should take off now. So make it more jungle-ified in here. And of course, all these gingers are just getting ready to burst now that we're getting water. Citrus, there's all kinds of achachas and lychees and you name it. I bought it and I planted it. Here's what's left of the lychees. The bird people help themselves. I got some, but I gotta go over to this Imbe tree fruit. So the leaves turning yellow on the citrus from the drought. Oh, this is fruiting for the first time. This is the first time this tree is fruited. It's a 2-year-old tree. Lemon tree. The fruit will be 3 years old when we pick it, probably. Same with this one, but this one doesn't have any fruit on it. This was always a very hard area to grow in, but it seems like it's getting better. Floridians around here, they want all this stuff cleaned up. But we're able to dry farm because of this, because of all that carbon and added life. Yeah, there's some fruit. So I was offering these seeds, $5 each. The Imbe fruit. Of course, if you've been here before, you could probably come by and taste it. Boy, that's a big fruit. Look at it. That's a triple cedar. They're $15 a fruit. It's $10 for, or $5 for these littler ones, basically. There's a lot of green fruit still on this tree. Obviously, it doesn't need any water. Obviously. I mean, obviously. Oh. But so waxy leaf plants deal with drought better than non-waxy leaf plants. And they're the ones that form relationships with fungi in the soil. Frog Valley Farm is just on the cusp of exploding. Probably if we hadn't got the freeze, this would have been our summer, because then we would have had the madruno fruit, the Garcinia madruno fruit, and the mangoes, and probably the jackfruit, because we had fruit on one of our jackfruits. But freeze happens in 10A here in Florida, and it could have been a lot worse. It seems to go in cycles. It got a lot of our little trees. That little tree there was suffering. That's a mango, I'm pretty sure. Suffering from the drought, I could tell. Citrus, lychees. We had good lychee. Those are good. So we have all this pasture that we've been rotationally grazing our cows and donkeys on. They're weedy pastures. It's what I like, because I'm trying to plant. Here's this neighbor's farm where he clear cut the forest and put everything in pots. Dug these huge ditches that don't have any water in them now. That just sold for 1.5. I mean, that's the difference. It's about, I don't know, an acre and a half that he has there. But I see his jackfruit tree is dead, probably from the drought. He's watering right now, even though it poured last night. This stuff definitely doesn't look very good. But yeah, that was 1.4 million. I mean, that's the reason it's only 6.8 acres. We have 3 more acres than them. And ours is all organic. I mean, it's the only biodynamic, rare tropical fruit farm of its kind in the world. Meant for a 70-year-old to treat like a park. I mean, that's what I do. This is my walk every day. The one path from front to back, because you don't have to do anything. It's true. Move the donkeys, that's what I have to do, but I can't put them in that back pasture. I'm working my way to that back pasture. Just show it. So this is another pasture. There's a lot of feed in our pastures, except for the front cow pasture. That was getting to be a dust bowl, but I'm going to divide it up and move them through there more. But the mangoes, they're happy they got the rain, I see. So this was the leftover freeze from the 31 degrees we had this year, and caused a lot of these mangoes not to fruit They judge you on your farm by how much work you do, rather than how easy it is to grow without doing anything. It's strange. They are trees. They grow by themselves. You don't have to do anything. I don't understand why people don't understand that. The message just isn't getting through. There's just too much ingrained history of colonialism here. And probably, I can smell the glysophate from here. So this house wasn't here when we bought. And they built it like 30 feet from our property line. Yep, I can smell that from here. I mean, they did it all around their house. I just don't understand people that do that. So this affects me, the glysophate smell. I'm gonna try not to breathe. It's like, why? Why do you think that green plants are worse than burnt, dead, oil-smelling plants around your house? Whoa, I mean, it's just pungent. It's like really bad. So anyway, I'm not going to go any closer because I can smell it from here and it's bothering me. But you can see the dead. That's how I noticed. See, his side of the trees are dead, like have a certain color brown. Where is it? Right there. I'm gonna have to get closer because you can't really see. Because I need a document of this. I have no rights. We have no rights. The organic people, they don't do anything. I don't know that. We're so screwed up where we haven't banned these, and people still think that the cancer they cause is a hoax. Because they consider this to be a poor person's land that looked like this, that they would just take from you if you didn't have it manicured. That's what he said. I never see you do anything. Yeah, because I don't have to. Yeah, you can see it here. So, see the dead tree? That's his side of the tree. It goes all down to the fence line, and then the dead weeds right there along the fence. It's just screwed up. It's just so screwed up. But thankfully I don't have a lot of stuff planted on that side, and definitely everything's from out of range, but I mean, I could smell it, so it's obviously it travels. He just did it 3 days ago. It's the same guy. He has an easement to the front road up there. He has 3 acres back here, and he has an easement along our property line with 2 other properties, and decided to spray the ditch with the glysophate in between our properties, because they spray the waterways here still. I mean, I don't know. I mean, you can't get it banned. It's banned in Europe, but it's okay here. I don't get it. You're destroying Florida's chance of becoming Eden and embracing hell. Because that's what it is when you're killing and destroying, causing sickness. That's not what we're trying to do here in our little Eden. Anyway, this is Florida Natural Farming, Frog Valley Tropical Fruit Farm. I hope you have a good day.